What up, what up, what up? Welcome to the Scorecard on the Talkin Fight channel. Good morning, Ray. Sorry, I should say good afternoon, Ray, in the
Thanks very
UK.
much. Thanks.
Real quick, my man Ray is from the In Between the Ropes podcast. Tell everyone what day and time it comes on.
Yeah, so we do review, put them on pretty enough whenever there's some news breaking. We don't have a set time or a set
Okay,
day of the week that we kind of do our stuff. We just go as and when. That's a real good thing about our channel. We're really spontaneous. We respond to the news. We do lots of fight previews, fight reviews. We interview lots of guests. We've got some big guests lined up to come onto the channel. And just find us
perfect.
guys on YouTube between the ropes TV.
There you go. Perfect, perfect. All right, let's get right into it. Khan and Brooke. The reason why, even though both these guys were a little bit older in their careers, I was still I was still looking forward to this fight, just for the simple fact is that it's always a good fight when the two guys legit don't like each other, right? You know, whatever might have been different earlier in their careers, just for the simple fact, like, they both already paid. They're both millionaires. They didn't need to have this fight. It's not like they just
Correct.
took this fight for a payday. They took this fight because they really both don't like each other, and want to get it on. What up to Randy? My bad, Randy. Sorry you couldn't get in. I know you have some technical difficulties, but thanks for being here. Just Randy, just say whatever you want in the chat. We'll make sure to pull it up too. Um, I was about to say this is the scorecard, but it wasn't much of a scorecard to score yesterday. Um, the only round I gave to Khan was the second round, and actually, you know what? Even in the first round, before he almost got stopped, like I had Khan winning that first round up until he got touched. I don't know how you felt, like specifically the first round. There's only 6 rounds, so we might as well go through the whole thing specifically. Um, Specifically the first round, I had Khan winning up until he got caught and then almost stopped. So even though it could have been a 10-8 round, I still had that first round a 10-9 round for Brook. Um, Second round, I had it. Second round is the only round I gave to Khan by
Right.
accident. In my scorecard that I posted, it was I put 9-9 by accident, but it's supposed to be 10-9 for Khan. That was the only round I had for him, and then from there, it was Brook just steamrolling. I guess the third round I marked it as a close round, even though I still had it for Brook, but everything else was just a steamroll. Go ahead, man.
I had the first round kind of similar to you. Khan was winning the early shades, but um, Brook landed the clean, harder shot. He hurt him with a jab, which wasn't a power punch, but that's how shot Khan was. Don't get me wrong, both fighters were shot. Just uh, Khan was even worse than what Brook was. But nevertheless, Brook won the first round. I had Khan winning the second round. I had Brook winning the third round, Khan winning the fourth, and
Okay.
then Brook winning round five. And then, obviously we know what happened in round six. So really, I had it even by the end of round four. The way we all this is why this particular show that you do so interesting, Cedric, because this will divide the most opinion.
Hmm.
Scoring is subjective,
Yes,
and it
yes.
really separates that people that know what they're talking about or experience boxing from those that
Hmm.
don't. I look for
Exactly.
four things: clean, hard punching, ring generalship, effective aggression, and who's got the better defense. And it was funny because in round two, for example, the first 2.5 minutes, Amir Khan was ticking three or maybe four out of those things that I've just said.
Hmm.
But it was the last 30 or last 20 seconds of round two where you had to lean towards Brook because he became aggressive. His aggression became effective. He landed harder punches that had a greater effect on Khan. You could tell on his body. He became the ring general by dictating the pace of the fight,
Hmm.
fighting his fight, which was short and mid range, and his defense was better in the last 20 seconds. So because that had a greater effect, that for me changed the course of the round, which is
Yeah,
why I
yeah.
give that round, you know,
Just
to
real quick, just to keep your thought there. Just want to bring in what Randy said here. He said Brook landed so powerful, his timing was great, and with the flush shots, Exactly. That's what I didn't think Brook still had was the timing. I didn't think he would have that timing. And Ryan just saying he's agreeing with us, except I didn't give round 4 to Khan. Exactly too. That's I want to know your brief just explanation on round 4, because I didn't think it was close. I thought Brook had that one, but the way you kind of just described it there, you think Khan had most of the round, and then
yeah, and that's the way I scored it. Just an example I was given there. I thought Khan threw a lot of flurries, which
mm-hmm,
he landed sort of shots in fours and
mm-hmm,
fives, as we say, four and five shots.
yeah,
But when those 4 or 5 shots that he was throwing, those 1 or 2 were landing. Although it looked as though the majority of them were missing, 1 or
yeah,
2 of them still were landing.
yes,
And
yeah,
then he was eventually getting back out of range. So I liked that work
mm-hmm,
because it was his fight. That ring generalship was Khan's because it was an outside fight. Khan was doing his work and getting back on the outside. Kell Brook needed to work to get on the inside, and he was struggling to do that. It was I suppose, when he landed the body shot, and then he got a bit closer to Khan, he started to do his work on Khan. But
mm-hmm.
when Khan was doing his work on Brook, he was landing the 1s and 2s from the 4s and 5s he was throwing, but he was also landing some uppercuts as well.
Yeah,
So it comes down to
definitely,
what you like, and I just felt as though that at that point the cleaner work was coming from Amir Khan.
yeah. I definitely hear your explanation. Yeah. I definitely saw that too. Brook, I mean, Khan was doing his thing on his toes, but it's like his punch resistance is just, especially as he's getting older, just getting lower and lower. I thought Khan would be able to with his long range and skills be able to keep Brook off of him for the fight, but Khan was good. I mean, Brook was good at cutting the ring off, and then looking for that one specific shot that he was trying to land. As soon as Khan would duck his head and hold, he'd look for the uppercut, lift his head, he'd
Yes.
come with the overhand right.
Yes. Yeah.
One thing that I didn't take into consideration when I was making my prediction for this fight is that the weight difference. I mean, you could visibly see that Brook was bigger, like just bigger. But I didn't realize until one of the, I think it was Andre Ward, someone brought it up that Khan started his career at 135. Was it 135 you said, right?
Yeah. Lightweight.
Yeah. He started at lightweight at 135, and Brook is a natural 147. And you can see that I saw the difference in their bodies and in there, and of course that extra weight, that extra power, with the low punch resistance from Khan, that that was the major difference. The question is now, I don't know, do you have anything more on the fight? Let me see what Randy said here. I think I lean toward Brook in the round 4 because of the more damage of his shots. Brook seemed to walk through those shots. Yeah. Kind of what you were saying, Ray.
He did. Brook took what Amir Khan was given, so there's an argument. Look, I mean, there's an argument to say Brook's punches had more effect on Khan, but Khan was landing. He was landing at will earlier on. Not landing at will, but out of the combination he was throwing, some of those shots were landing, and Brook wasn't throwing at that particular point. So for me, even though he had some effective ones later in the round, Khan was outlanding him earlier on in the round, and he was controlling the distance. Brook was. Brook seemed to eventually he did try to time him, but at the start of the round he wasn't timing him as effectively as he did later on in the fight, not particularly in that round. So that's why I give round 4 to Amir Khan.
That's perfect. That's why, and like you said, that's why I love, that's why I started the show, because everyone could give their specific explanation. Most, on the internet, people just rant and just, say random stuff.
And I think, it's sometimes it's about putting an educated rationale on. It's that easy to say, I scored it to Khan and not give a description why, or even worse, just give it to Khan because the commentators give it to Khan.
Yes.
So that's why whenever I watch a fight, I always turn the volume right down So I've got no idea what the commentators are saying.
Yeah.
So if I'm watching a fight and it's a stream and it's a foreign language, that's music to my ears because I'm not repeating what the commentators are saying. I'm just doing it off my own, So if somebody scores it differently to me, that's okay. But I'm always still able to give an explanation as to why I've scored it that particular way.
Nice. Where do they both go from here? Because obviously, I mean, Khan, he's good, man. I hope he's made enough that he can just chill now. Maybe do some commentating. But yeah, Randy said he agrees with you too. Sometimes we listen with no volume on just for that same reason you just said there too. Randy, where do they these guys both go from here? Personally, I think Khan should hang him up. I was just saying, like, I hope he made enough money that he can just chill, maybe do some commentating. I
agree. I think he has made a lot of money from boxing. He's made some sound investments. I think he should walk away. There's nothing left for him to achieve. He's unified the 140 division. He's fought. I think he's fought coming to 12 former current world champions. He's won 7 out of those 12.
And he only has he only has 4 losses on his career to who is it? 6. Canelo, Crawford. Is it 6?
So he's got Golovkin. He's got Canelo. He's got Danny Garcia. Obviously, Kell Brook. He's got Bradis Prescott. He's got Lamont Peterson on there. So yeah, he's
all top level guys. Even Lamont Peterson and Lamont Prescott. That was early in his career. That was
Bradis Prescott was early in his career. And he was down at 135. And then he had the loss to Lamont Peterson. Then he had the loss to Garcia. And then he had the Canelo loss. And
that was a big. I give him credit for that. He stepped up. Coming from 135 and fought Canelo, like that's
yeah. And then don't forget, he still managed to get a fight against Terence Crawford as well. So that's his loss. So for me, he's fought the best. He's got a great resume. Walk away. Kell Brook, I'd like to see him walk away too. Cedric, because he wanted this fight so badly. He doesn't have the resume that Amir Khan's got, but he's got a win over Amir Khan. This is what we call in the UK local, like a derby. Lancashire versus Yorkshire, two great counties and areas in the UK. He's got that win, so he's not going to win a world title. He's not going to win a world title in the welterweight division. He's not going to win one in the super welterweight division. So he should walk away as well. He's also made a good bit of money. I know that paid well. So. Yeah,
people were saying, the commentators were saying how because he looked good, how he should consider continuing on. But I think it just might be looking good because it was against Amir Khan. Not I don't know how that would be against one of the top guys. I agree. At this point of his career, right? So yeah. That's it for now, I guess. Real quick, Jones. Tell me real quick about.
Yeah, Natasha Jones had a fantastic win. For those that don't know, Natasha Jonas, Miss GB. This was her 3rd world title attempt. She lost the first one at 130 pounds to Terry Harper. Controversial decision, in my opinion. She won that, and then she fought at lightweight for the undisputed lightweight titles against Katie Taylor, which was a rematch of the 2012 bout in the Olympics, which she also lost. And she lost this grudge match, if you like, at 135. This one, she's stepping up to 154. So it was a huge jump,
step up fight too.
Yeah. And she stopped her opponent from Uruguay, Numas. She stopped her. She stopped her convincingly.
Second round, I saw it. I watched it. Yeah. She dropped. It was a nice it wasn't just a lucky punch. Like it was a nice combination on the inside in the first. She dropped her in the first round, and in the second round, caught her with something with
she looked sharp from the get-go, Cedric.
Yes.
She looked sharp from the get-go. She cut off the ring well. She cut the distance down. Every time she threw, she was landing. She had the measure of opponent from the get-go. It was fantastic. Beautiful boxing.
Yeah. I got about 3 minutes here. Any more last thoughts on anything, Randy? You got any last thoughts to say
Just
anything
just to
before we go?
just to go back onto the Khan fight, I thought for what it was definitely entertaining.
Yes.
But it just goes to show. I guess one of the reasons why you're doing this show is how you look at when people are throwing flurries.
Mm.
Is it the art of, well, they're throwing 6 shots, but how many of those 6 shots are landing? And I think you've
Yeah.
got to
So
really
you
pay
have to really
attention.
pay attention.
Yeah, and that's why I could see that. Although Amir Khan threw 6 shots in a flurry, one or two of those were landing.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because 10 years ago, when this fight was really first circulated,
Mm.
would it have played out the same? In my opinion, it wouldn't have done, because more of those shots from the flurries would have landed.
Yeah.
And Amir Khan's legs would have held up a little bit better. It definitely would have got more rounds then.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, that makes it. Yeah, it's interesting what would have happened earlier in their career, because it's like not and the question, the one thing that they were saying, Andre Ward mentioned it, because I think Khan trained with Virgil Hunter for a bit, is that you gotta,
Mm-hmm.
in between fights he's not in the gym. Like when he's getting ready for a fight, he's there every day, focused 100%. But in between fights, and a lot of just for all fighters, that's where the damage happens. And not necessarily that if he's partying a lot, but just not being in the gym and not able to keep your skills sharp.
That's what I was saying when I was on your show earlier this week with Tim and Mike.
Yeah.
Amir has a reputation for only being in a gym when it comes to having a date for
Mm,
a fight. You need to
mm,
be in a gym all the time, and that can be the difference sometimes. I think you
mm.
age more as a fighter, and I think it's
Yes.
harder for you to learn. That's Amir's problem. If you look at all his defeats, all his 6 defeats, he's lost in a very similar manner. He's not
Mm,
making any changes to his style. He's not
mm.
developing his ring IQ, and that
Yes.
was one of the flaws in the defeat we saw against Kell Brook. Okay, yeah, he was past it. He was past it. But sometimes when he was throwing his shots, there was no thought behind them. He was
Yeah,
just throwing them for the
it's
sake
like
of throwing
it's
punches.
like he only has a plan A. If plan A doesn't work, he doesn't have he can't adjust or adapt to anything else, and he
That's
should be.
that's
You
the
know.
problem. When he's throwing his shots, he's not thinking, okay, maybe I'll circle to my left and throw this shot. Maybe I'll circle
Mm,
to my right and throw this shot.
mm,
Put Kell Brook off balance, reset him. He
mm.
wasn't doing any of that. He was just throwing shots for the sake of throwing shots. The
Yeah.
idea was just to overwhelm him and
Mm,
catch him in that eye, but
mm.
it just didn't work.
No. All right, man. I got to get going. Thank you very much again, Ray. Thank you very much for your
No
educated
problem.
explanation and on your scorecard. Thank you, Randy, in the chat, also for your educated explanation of your scorecard. And everybody listening out there, please, I want your input, your scorecard, not just your opinion. All right. See you guys next week. Thank you. Peace.